Okay, welcome, guys. We are hoping to talk about certain theories that influence entrepreneurship today. So let's go straight to it. Now, we have economic theory, entrepreneurship theories, and under that classification of economic theories, we have the classic theory, the neoclassic theory, and we have the Australian market process, the AMP. Now, several theories explain the field of entrepreneurship, and these theories are rooted in economics, in psychology, in anthropology, in sociology, and in management. This lecture examines the economic entrepreneurship theories in close detail. So that's what we're focusing today. And the intention is that at the end of this session, that every student should be able to understand entrepreneurship and how it cuts across disciplines through three theoretical lenses. That is the classical theory, the neoclassic theory, and the Australian market process. Let's just take that one by one. Let's see if we can get what these theories are all about. The first theory was born from the British Industrial Revolution, the mid 1700s and the 1830s, during when the Industrial Revolution kicked in. The Industrial Revolution is the time when the entire globe was switching from agrarian economy to industrial economy. Some people may not understand it, but let me just give a brief on what it means. Before that time, everybody farmed. And when you farm, you sell your farm produce. With that, you buy other things you need. But during this 1700s, people started building trains. Horses started carrying carriages. Small industries started being set up here and there. Cottage industries here, leather industries here. So industry was coming into existence. And that was when the classic theory was born during this time. So the core idea here is that the theory extols free trade, specialization in what you do, and then competition. Authors have described entrepreneurs' directing role in the production and distribution of goods within a competitive market during this particular time. So, three modes of production exist: land, capital, and labor. Of course, entrepreneurs are the mind behind the land, the labor, and capital. So they all make up the factors of production to with which you produce any particular good. So, what is the objection? Classical theories failed to explain the dynamic upheavals, that is, the challenge generated by entrepreneurs of the industrial age. They had issues. Classic theory had issues at this time. So, these are the core things that were about the theory. So, let's see. The second one is the neoclassical theory. That's neo means the new. That is something closer to newer than the classic. There's classic is the old one. The neoclassic is the newer classic. And this particular theory was responding mostly to the shortcomings of the classic theory. There, and it tends to be focused on economic phenomena that try to reduce instances of pure exchange, reflecting an optimal ratio within a basically closed economic system, driven by the exchange participants or currencies and their impact on other market factors. The sixth criticism of the new classic conjunctions. So this theory was criticized for these six things. Now, the third one is the Australian market process, which is answering the question the neoclassic model left unanswered or left open. Now, this particular one was influenced by a man called Joseph Schumpeter. Of course, if you've been in the Department of Entrepreneurship, this name is not far-fetched. It's a name that you are familiar with. So the Australian market process concentrates on human action within an economy of knowledge. And Schumpeter described entrepreneurship as a driver of market-based systems. The essential function of an enterprise is to create something new, generating processes that serve as impulses for the motion of the market economy. The key concept here is called the creative destruction. And entrepreneurship is seen as the engine of economic motion. Creative destruction simply means that once you come up with an innovative idea, creative idea, It kills the existing baseline or idea that is running or people are using to solve whatever problem you are trying to create a new thing concerning. For example, people use typewriters to type, to type, putting speeches to paper. But as soon as the computers came, which is innovative, which is new, it simply destroyed the typewriter. All right. So we have a telephone system, a land phone system. As soon as the mobile phone showed up, which is a new and innovative communication gadget, it destroyed the land phone. So the man, Joseph Schumpeter, came up with the concept of creative destruction, meaning that entrepreneurship would be an engine, uh, we serve as the engine of economic motion. And as that motion is moving, new things are coming up, innovative things are being created, but older things, older gadgets, older production processes will be destroyed in the process. So, unlike the neoclassic models, closed static system, the Australian market process treats market as an ongoing knowledge-driven process shaped by entrepreneurial actions. So, when we comparing the three theories, now in terms of era, the classic theory was within 1700s and 1830s, while the neoclassic was post-classic critique. He tried to criticize the classic theory, and then the Australian market process existed in 1934 onward. Now, in view about the market, the classic theory viewed the market as being a competitive marketplace of land, competitive marketplace of capital and labor. But the neoclassic theory views the market as a closed system of pure exchange. Simply, let's exchange, buy and sell. Now, the Australian market process view the market as open, knowledge-driven process. Remember, we called it has an economy that is in motion. Now, the classic theory sees the entrepreneurial role as director of production and distribution. Right? The neoclassic theory sees the entrepreneurial role as under theorized, heavily criticized position. So it's just is the entrepreneur as just being theoretically classified as a person there, and he heavily criticized the role of the entrepreneur. While the Australian market process sees the entrepreneurial role as driving the market and being in charge of the motion the market has via innovation. Then key weaknesses of this theory: the classic theory, he missed the industrial age upheavals. That's one of his key weakness, one of the criticisms. And that one, for the neoclassic theory, is that it ignored individual activities and uncertainties. So it was criticized for this. The market process, one of his key weakness is it was harder to quantify formally. You couldn't really quantify it because it was really, really broad and encompassing. Okay. Now, in summary, today, we also said that entrepreneurship is a multidisciplinary field underpinned or pinned by empirical research that spans through or covers through economic spaces, psychological spaces, sociological spaces, anthropological spaces, and management. And these theories around these spaces help to shape how people view or hold entrepreneurship or practice and research through entrepreneurship. And we focus today just on the economic theory, which talked about just three theories, which is the classic, the neoclassic, and the Australian market process theories. So important finding from what we just went through today is that empirical studies show that human capital factors are positively related to becoming a, a nascent entrepreneur, increasing both opportunity recognition and entrepreneurial success. So these are some of the things we have determined from these units we have covered today.